moving into light consciousness. I would speak with you now about moving into light consciousness, the expanded consciousness where you take yourself lightly. I would ask of you, do you live your life lightly or heavily? For the most part. Most likely you find that some of the time you live your life lightly. Other times there are issues that really get to you. The voice of the world tells you that life is a struggle. It is full of challenge. And no matter how you come up over one challenge and another, there will always be another obstacle on the horizon for you. However, as you use a bit of discipline to choose to look upon things lightly, it gets easier to see the light in every occurrence. And the converse of that is true. As you focus on what is wrong in life, then there seems to be more and more wrong. You have a saying in your world, misery likes company. Misery will attract its own, but lightness also attracts its own. In truth, you and the brothers and sisters, the collective consciousness, are moving into light consciousness. Also, our Holy Mother Earth is evolving, making changes as a light being, which she is. Now, I know that for many of the brothers and sisters, it is difficult to see any light around the earth. The earth is just something that they walk on, drive on, pave over so that they can have more roads and more dwelling places and structures upon it. And there is not much thought that there could be light within and around our Holy Mother the Earth. But there is, because she is light, coalesced into form the same as your body. A bigger form, but it is light, and there is consciousness, intelligence. Otherwise, there would not be the coalescence into form. There has been a conscious choice of the intelligence, and I use that with a capital I, to bring together a certain form dense enough that humanoids can walk on it and have no care, no thought for it for the most part. But the earth is also a consciousness, and is also evolving, allowing more and more of the light to be acknowledged, radiated into what you call outer space. I will call it inner space because it is all within the mind of God and the mind of the One. And there is a certain evolution, even an acceleration of evolution, which is well in process. There is an acceleration within your own individual consciousness, and there is an acceleration of the evolution of light awareness within around the earth. You are being witness to the earth changes and changing weather patterns. Much is shifting, sometimes dramatically. Now, whenever you have an evolutionary process going on, and it is always going on, for the Holy Child, the one mind being creative, is forever ongoing and creating and expanding. You have an evolution of creation, hence the earth changes. There continues to be an evolution within your sandbox, this reality which is said for a long time. I have edges around my sandbox to keep my sand in. Now, even in this sandbox, there is an evolution in thinking, in willingness, in allowance to entertain the possibility, the probability, and the reality that the edges are not so rigid as has been thought in previous times. There is a new contemplation of expandability, fluidity, light. And when I speak of light, I do not mean light in the physical sense, although you will in truth see that too. But I speak of light of intelligence. So as you are moving into light consciousness, you will be moving into more awareness of the divine intelligence of you, the expandedness of you. And our Holy Mother, the Earth, is also making this shift into more light consciousness. Now, as there is an evolution, there are changes which happen as you leave the old thinking behind. And as there is more light, the light will show up, first of all, any resistance to it. You are seeing now much resistance to change, to new thinking. Ones are wanting to hold on to patterns of thinking, old belief systems, because they are familiar. New thinking brings about changes, and the ego, which believes itself to be separate from its source, does not trust change. So you are seeing much divisiveness between brother and brother, sister and sister, as the old ways of belief are being challenged. Old ways, while they may not be judged to be the best, are at least familiar. You know this in your own individual life, where old thinking has perhaps not been the harbinger of peace, but at least it was familiar. You have seen some shadows in this lifetime, some issues, as the light of new thinking has shown up areas where there could be change. And then you have set about dealing with the shadows, the issues, with the light of your own intelligence, which is not separate from the one intelligence. And you have allowed a transformation to take place with those issues. You have been called upon and volunteered to be the light consciousness which knows that all is in divine order of the atonement, the realization of at 1 month. You have, in truth, before this incarnation, volunteered to be what you see as a certain storage place, a battery of peace. Now I hear you saying, well, Jeshua, I don't know if I'm much of a battery for peace, because I sure have the ups and downs in my life, and I don't always feel peaceful. But in truth, you as an individual soul, and also as a part of the vaster soul group, have volunteered to be the presence of peace while changes are happening. I say this unto you because I wish to awaken you within the remembrance of what you volunteered for, and to reassure you that you volunteered because you know at a very deep level of consciousness that you are the stream, the flow of peace, of light, of divine intelligence. For as you will see changes on the surface of our Holy Mother, the earth, the physical changes, you will also see changes happening which have been brewing for a while between brother and brother, sister and sister, to a place of boiling point. There are going to be and have been uprisings, for there have been a growing frustration. Breathe peace into those uprisings, whether they be in your area as co-workers who do not agree with each other, or as an uprising at a farther distance as you measure geography. Breathe peace, and know that truly the Holy Child is arising as the phoenix out of every conflagration, every seeming problem. The divinity has come to a place of remembrance and reawakening. You have decreed before there was descent into density, before there was a descent into knowing creation from the inside out, that there would be the phoenix of you arising out of the ashes. So you will see ashes. Some of the ashes may be rather large, but they do not have to be, and that is where you come in again. You are the ones who volunteered to be the presence of peace during this time of awakening. You are the one who has said, I am the adventure. I have been through multitudinous adventures, and I know myself to be eternal because I have come through multitudinous adventures. I know that I will prevail. There is a deep knowing within you of light consciousness. Know you that this is not the first lifetime you have volunteered to do this. However, this lifetime is going to be easier for you than any other lifetimes, because you have also gone through an evolutionary process of awakening within your own belief system as you see your own individual history. This lifetime will not require of you what you have given in some other lifetimes, for in other lifetimes you have released the body in most sacrificial terms. That will not be asked of you in this lifetime. But you have volunteered to be the presence of peace, to be the presence of light consciousness. I am impressing that upon you. You have set a certain time schedule, you collectively, and you are now at a point where, how do you put this? The push has come to shove. Now, having said all of this, it is not to instill fear. In truth, you will find one day will be pretty much the same as another day, because you have been gradually leading up to the awakening. My message to you is to remember what you have volunteered to do, to be the presence of peace, to live in light and to take yourself lightly, and others as well, as often as possible. Remember that you are eternal. Remember that you have decreed that there will be an evolutionary process of the phoenix arising. Remember that you are so loved that you are the presence of love. That is where I abide all the time and outside of time, for you see, I take myself lightly. There are many in your world who take me heavily, many who, when my name is mentioned, recoil because of previous teaching, because of previous heaviness. Give them another name. Tell them that your companion is Fred, or whatever. There has been, down through what you see as the lineage of time, a certain belief system which has grown up about me and about what I taught, a seriousness. And yet my message was always one of simplicity, of love, of oneness with the Father. Now, beloved one, I wish for you joy. I wish for you celebration and freedom. I wish for you to play as the child, to go as a child, to remember the innocence of the child. I wish for you peace and love, harmony, enthusiasm. I wish for you revelation and answers to all the questions. And I wish for you the knowing of the light consciousness. I meet you there. So be it.